Today, from the field of play, we've got 6 gold medal matches that are lined up. And first on deck is going to be recurve women. Then we're going to go to recurve men. Then we go to the compound women, compound men, and then barebow women to barebow men. But as we welcome the shooters to the field of play, Justin, we have a very interesting match on our hand because we've had some stalwarts, some big names in recurve women's archery, but these two archers aren't as household names as some may think. So on the left side of your screen, waving, that's Gabrielle Sasai, and on the right side is going to be Isabella Frederick. Now here's the interesting thing. These two young archers, one of them 16 years old is Sasai, and then 19-year-old is Frederick. They both shoot out of the same club in Seattle, Washington, the Wildlife Committee of Washington. Pretty incredible to have these two athletes come here to Pennsylvania and both of them find themselves in the gold medal match.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens here because, you know, when you're at this level and you shoot a match like this, the nerves are an issue. And sometimes when you're shooting a match and you actually shoot against someone in your own club that you're familiar locally, it'll kind of help settle the nerves a little bit and feel like you're just at home. So it's going to be something to watch here in this match to see how they both handle the pressure.
So here we are. We're getting ready for gold medal match number 1 of the day. It's recurve women. I'm Greg White sitting alongside Justin Hewish. And the target is set at 70 meters downrange, which is just about 77 yards. And the target face is a 122 centimeter target, which means that the 10 ring is 12.2 centimeters across. Now, Justin, explain to us one more time how this system works in terms of scoring.
Right, so Isabella's going to start off shooting. And wow, a 10. Each archer is going to shoot 3 arrows right now, and whoever has the highest score of these 3 arrows, and when you hit a bullseye, it's worth 10, and the rings work out to 1. Whoever has the highest score will win 2 set points. If they both happen to tie, they will both split the 1 points each. And we continue to shoot ends of arrows until the match is over, whoever reaches 6 set points first.
Now it's gotten a little bit tricky out there. Has a 9 point scored on the second arrow as we have a little bit of wind. We had some tricky wind as well earlier for the compound shooters where they shot. Actually, it was more shielded than it is out on this field of play. It's been a great venue here at the Greater Chester Valley Sports Complex in Malvern, Pennsylvania. And we have our 3rd arrow from our first competitor, so a 10-9-8, the cumulative score of that. So Sasai now at a 19. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be Frederick who might take that set point by 1 point.
Yeah, they shot really well here. You know, they're kind of just the first few arrows is to kind of fill out the finals venue. Sometimes the wind might be a little bit different than you were used to on the other field. And, you know, now that they're going to get settled down a little bit with the nerves and the wind, you know, hopefully we'll see some really good shooting here.
So, Justin, let's talk about the mystery of 70-meter target downrange for archery. When you run into people that don't shoot on the regular, they're completely baffled as to how anybody can hit a 10, 70 meters downrange. How do you work yourself into this kind of distance as an archer from maybe someone young or even somebody who's picking up the sport at 40 years old?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it kind of baffles us, but at the end of the day, you know, 70 meters is, you know, 240 feet approximately away, which is, you know, close to 3/4 of a football field, and it is kind of decently far, but once you get up to this level and you're an archer that shoots like this, it's not the biggest feat necessarily.
Well, Justin, I'm curious. Let's talk about, you know, obviously Olympic gold medals, both individual and team, back in 1996. How have you seen things different? Are there form changes? Are there equipment changes? Or things that you've seen when you were away from the sport for nearly 20 years and now back into it that kind of make you think, wow, this is pretty amazing?
Well, the round itself, the set system, wasn't around when I shot. We shot 12 arrow cumulative score for 120, and whoever had a higher aggregate score won that match. So with set play, it's a lot different because you can actually have a bad arrow in the first set and make a comeback and actually win the match as it goes on, which is a really nice thing. Because sometimes if you shot an arrow that was bad down there in your first arrow, pretty much the match was over. You just were kind of shooting arrows just to get it over with.
You can see upper right part of your screen is the shot clock. Each archer having 20 seconds to execute shot. Once the first archer releases the arrow, the clock starts for the second arrow. This is part of the pressure of gold medal matches for USA Archery, very similar to what World Archery does as well. And of course, if you're new to archery, USA Archery is the Olympic arm for the United States, which is run by World Archery, the Olympics are. So we got a couple more arrows in, so we have an 8 and a 9. Now it's going to be Frederick, who's up 2 set points to 0.
It's a great shot. Looks like their first shot. Looks like the wind's picked up. It's a little bit of a tailwind, kind of quartering to the left. And they both shot up there in the high left, and it looks like they both made the adjustments.
Now, Justin, look at this Olympic recurve archery. Not like compound, which we're going to see later in the day, which has a lens in the scope on a sight and a peep sight. This is different. I mean, you know, how do you even determine where you're going to put that string? You can see where the string is resting on Isabella Frederick's nose. So how do you determine all that when you shoot? Is it coaching? Is it kind of individual feel? How do you do it?
Well, there's definitely a technique involved. With all facets of archery, there's an alignment and thing you need to do. But within recurve archery, you'll see the archer when she pulls back, when they pull back, they anchor underneath their chin. And there's like a finger tab that has a ledge on it that helps them with their verticality. And then they just line up the string with their aperture, and sort of like a gun would be in a sense, and shoot it that way. And the consistency that you need to do over and over with the recurve is very difficult, unlike a compound, where a compound has a peep sight where you have a rear sighting mechanism to use. It's primitive, but not.
Yeah, these things are definitely not primitive as technology continues to be pushed forward through a variety of companies in recurve archery, Hoyt being one here in the United States, Win another one out of Korea. But you can see there that each archer shot 26 points. So in this particular case, we split set points. So now Frederick goes up 3 points to 1. And how do we determine a winner?
6 set points.
All right, if we go 5-5 tie, we're going to go closest to the center arrow shoot off to determine who wins the gold medal. If you're just joining us, this is USA Archery 2022 U.S. Open. We're at gold medal match for women's recurve. And these are two superstars coming out of Seattle, Washington area who made their way to the gold medal match. And what a nice 10x for Sasai to start us off. And all of a sudden the wind picks up. And this is part of the luck that you can have in archery sometimes. And you can see that affecting Frederick. Puts it out in the 7 ring.
Ooh.
Oh boy. I mean,
she's applying the pressure there.
Yeah, so Sasai definitely puts this thing in the gold, and that's going to be 2 set points, and we could be all tied up at 3-3. Another great solid shot. So how about that, a 29?
This is a good opportunity for her to just shoot this arrow as a practice arrow. Doesn't really mean anything.
Great shot.
See, she was able to recalibrate and hit the 10 and then get that feeling for the next end going into this.
So unofficially, we can see it looks like that Sasai has been able to snag those 2 points. So we should be all tied up at 3-3. Now, describe to us what happens here. This is a little bit unusual, or a little bit different, I should say, than when we're shooting those qualification rounds. When you're in a gold medal match like this and you're on center stage, you have who down at the target for you now?
Each archer will have a archer's agent, which will go down and score the arrows and verify that the score is being actually tallied correctly and in their favor, whichever way that may be. And also, they'll mark and pull the arrows and have someone run the arrows back and give them to them, so that way they can continue on with the match without having to stop the match and the broadcast to have them walk down and do the whole thing.
Yeah, so make sure when you come to shoot USA Archery, which everybody's encouraged to come on out here and shoot, is that you bring enough arrows with you. You definitely want to bring enough, just in case you find yourself in a gold medal match. And by the way, part of the appealing part of shooting USA Archery is if you shoot recurve, you could find yourself online shooting shoulder to shoulder next to an Olympic champion just like Justin Hewish. All right, so here we go. Recurve, senior women's. We've had masters here as well this weekend in our variety of categories. Those gold medal matches already decided, so this is our first of our 6 gold medal match. Someone looking to go 5-3 in set scoring points.
8.
And another one in the gold for Sasai, who's 16 years old. It's her second time at the U.S. Opens. She shot all the World Cups, and she was at the finals in Turkey. She's been shooting 10 years, has Sasai.
5.
So that one, let's talk about that one. How those things just get away from you.
Yeah, it could be a combination of a few things: of the wind, the pressure of just shooting a soft shot, most likely. As you can hear and feel the wind picking up right now, and see she has another one out there. So I don't think it's blowing that much. It's probably a combination of a little bit of the pressure and the wind. And sometimes at archery, you gotta, be honest with yourself, and sometimes know that you're gonna have that and actually aim off more than you would normally do, just to make up for a soft shot or something like that.
Good looking target there. That's Isabelle Frederick's target, the 19-year-old who's at Seattle University studying creative writing. This is her third time at the U.S. Open. Again, another shooter shoots for the Wildlife Committee of Washington Club, and Frederick has been shooting for 9 years so far. So since she's 10 years old. So Justin, I want you to put on your coach's hat. Let's take a look at a nice slow motion release. What are you seeing on the release hand of Frederick on that one?
Oh, it looked pretty good to me. I don't see anything what they call boquando these days, where an archer will tend to, push their arm up or down or in one direction to try to help force the arrow in the middle. That looked like a just nice, good follow through.
Outstanding slow-mo shots from our production crew here at Competition Archery Media as we're bringing you this 2022 U.S. Open here in Malvern, Pennsylvania. Our first match of the day, recurve women, Gabrielle Sasai versus Isabella Frederick, both out of the Seattle, Washington area.
Nice 10 there for Gabby.
Okay, so it's crucial time for Sasai as she is trailing the archer at full draw right now by 2, trying to force this to a tiebreaker.
Yeah, and as a spectator, that's what you always like to see, is the match go for a tie and see a sudden single arrow shoot off.
So it looks like 8-8 for Frederick. Ooh, I was going to say a 10 there would definitely force a shoot off, and look at the wind. Looks like it's a right-left. Oh.
Looks like she might have gotten it.
That should be it for Frederick. We're going to wait for those official scores, but we could have a gold medal match decided by a point. So it looks like the one on the left, that's going to be an 8. So 10-8, 7. Agents down at the target. You can see the wind, and the weird part about it is that the wind has changed directions a couple of different times. But here at the gold medal match finals area, having those flags that line the entire distance of the field of play definitely helps the archers. They get a good sense of where the wind is.
Yeah, typically it does, but on a day like today, it literally can switch on you when you're at full draw. Earlier today, a lot of us were finding that you had to kind of peek up off your sight for a second just to make sure nothing changed on you last second before you shot your arrow. And that typically doesn't happen. Usually just get one direction wind when in a windy condition, and you can just aim off of that and not have to worry about it too much.
All right, so we know it's now confirmed that Isabelle Frederick in with the win, 6 set points to 4. And the two shooters from Washington shake hands. And what a win. So Sasai will be your silver medalist and Frederick your gold medal winner and the 2022 U.S. Open champion in recurve women.
Isabella Frederick.
6-4, a great first gold medal match to kick us off for the day.
And your silver medalist, Gabrielle Sasai.
Crowd applause for the two archers leaving the field of play. We'll get back on a plane and head home. Both of them with medals around their neck. As Isabella Frederick, your gold medalist. Isabella Frederick, Congratulations on your shooting. Outstanding job. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good, thank you.
So tell me about the match itself. How were you feeling going into it, and tell me how you felt about your performance.
I wish I had shot better scores, but I guess that doesn't matter right now. I'm feeling good. It was less stressful than I thought it would be, so that's nice.
All right, well, you've been shooting for a while, so how does this rank in terms of the wins that you've had in your career? And what was it like to shoot against someone who shoots out of the same club you shoot out of?
I think it was better to shoot against her because I know her, so she's not so scary.
Like I was saying earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you did it. Congratulations. Enjoy your gold medal and enjoy the title of 2022 U.S. Open champion.
Thank you.